Mr. Maltz, I do partially disagree with you. You talk about the importance of sharing information, but we went too far when private, then Bradley Manning, had access to everything. And I think we need to have the balance between sharing information among those involved in law enforcement and intelligence and guarding information. We went too far in one direction. Now we maybe go, Brad, certainly if you have a private with access to everything, you've gone too far to the other.
Your brother and other people's sons and brothers from the United States have lost their lives because we have not cut off the funding as we could have long ago to opium production. Maybe you have some thoughts on that.
Well, the first thought is going back to Mr. Sherman's comment, because it has to be clarified. Everything we did at the Special Operations Division was pursuant to the rule of law. So we're 100% in support of, the Constitution and to bring these people to justice in the greatest country of the world. We don't believe in information sharing to people that shouldn't have access to the information. But if you have a government task force set up to go after the threats to this country, we need to share information. You can't have a system where our terrorist investigators don't share with the criminal investigators. That's a recipe for disaster. And by the way, 16 years after 9/11, what we did and what we implemented with information sharing is exactly what the American public would expect. There's no politics in information sharing.
I've only got a minute and a half.
I'm sorry, sir, but I had to address that because that really was irritating.
I wish it would have done in Brad's time, however, but that's okay, because we don't share information here.
But as far as Afghanistan, I'm not an expert on eradicating the poppies. I'm not saying I disagree or agree. We're on the operations side. We saw the nexus between the Taliban and the drug traffickers.
Okay, let me just note this. It's not just the poppies. What we've got is we know someone is financing ISIL. Someone is financing these terrorists. There are huge financial interests, these international financial institutions that obviously are involved, and we have let them go. We have not focused on them.
I agree.
It's called blood money, especially when people like yourself and others have lost relatives and friends and sons and daughters to this terrorism.